Starting today in the restaurant, all the food just got here. The pizza from the Triple D clip, pulled pork, chicken, and brisket. Herbs and Rye got wings and meatloaf. And I got gumbo. I had the Cajun pasta last time, gumbo this time. Alright, we're done eating. Herbs and Rye is right here. Pizza, 0 to 10, like always, 2 decimal places.
7.2.
So 7.20. 2 decimal places.
7.21.
Okay. It could be a 0, just you didn't say. Alright. 7.21 for Herbs and Rye. If I'm giving one, you know, it was the same thing they said on that that YouTube clip from Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Despite all the toppings, the crust doesn't just collapse. That was good. You know what I was suspecting? Brisket could be dry. I wish somehow it weren't as dry. Like chicken could be, pork could be. Like they don't need to be, but they often are. And those are like 3 toppings that don't have, you know, the chicken doesn't have a lot of fat. There wasn't like a ton of barbecue sauce. There was some.
More soft.
Yeah, it was a little dry, but that's just the nature of the ingredients. It was still very good. I would say like, even though all pizza really tastes the same, I would say like 6.98 for me. So we're gonna head over to Talking Stick.
Basically copied my score.
What, do you want me to give it a terrible rating just because you said a good rating?
Yeah.
It's not how ratings work. Head over to Talking Stick, and can't really film in the room. I guess I'll come out, give you like a mid-session update or something. But I will tell you before I go to Talking Stick, Herbs and Rye talked to the owner. I got here a few minutes after the place opened today. Herbs and Rye was talking to the owner about yesterday because the website says the kitchen's open till 11. And I got here at like 10:22, and the first thing the girl said at the host desk was the kitchen is closed, which I just took that to meant like everything was closed. She then said there are a few late night options available, like nachos and chicken tenders, which we wanted the pizza. And I used to bring up like discrepancies like that and like argue and see what came of it. The last 15 years or so, just in general, like customer service has gone down and people aren't even willing to like argue. They just think you're like the world's most evil person. So she said the kitchen was closed, and she told me like the 3 items they were still willing to make, and I just took that to mean there's no way we could get the pizza, and the website was wrong, and we left. The owner said when the website says the kitchen is open, he means open in some capacity, which there was that very late night menu. He also said if we just told the host, oh, we came here just to get that pizza, I didn't drive far. Herbs and Rye drove like a half hour to get here. They would have made it. There were still people in the kitchen. All those ingredients were back there. If we asked, they would have made it. So I didn't know that, but that's good to know, which is like funny. Sometimes like it's a few minutes after like breakfast ends, but clearly all the ingredients are still back there in the kitchen. Like some places just refuse to make it for you. If you want like a breakfast sandwich or something, which why would you do that? He said if we just said, you know, we drove here specifically for that pizza we saw on Triple D, they would have made it for us. So, all right, we didn't know that, but came here today, had the pizza, and had the other things. I didn't ask Herbs and Rye for a rating on the other things, but that was a lot of food, and we ate all of it except for one of the 8 slices. All right, I-40 was closed. Took me a while to get on another road, but I'm finally here. No call-in. They don't do call-ins, so gotta go there, put your name on the list, and then wait. I actually am a big fan of no call-ins for reasons I might get into later, or I have in the past, and head into the poker room. This is exactly what I was worried about. I asked Herbs and Rye at lunch how many tables they would need for the tournament. Not that he like knew the answer, but I was wondering if they would need so many tables there would not be cash games going, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Yesterday there were cash games going. I got into the Airbnb, I checked Bravo, there were plenty of cash games going. Right now there's none. Every table is being used for a tournament. The woman at the desk said maybe in 2 hours. It's like 1:15 right now. She said maybe at 3 they'll start interest lists for cash games. So really don't want to just sit here and do nothing for 2 hours. And if I leave, I'm probably not coming back because Lone Butte and the Airbnb are so close to each other and so far from here. So I'm leaning towards just going to Lone Butte, playing all day, and then that's it. Back to the Airbnb to sleep, and then back to Vegas tomorrow, which means no play here in Talking Stick, and that'll be the last I see of Herbs and Rye when I go in and say see ya. But I don't know what else to do. I didn't even bring a cigar. A cigar would kill like half the time, and then still just sit here for an hour doing nothing, and then maybe there would be an interest list, and then maybe we'd get a table open. I don't know. I mean, they need registration to end, and then they need a table full of people to bust out, and then a table would be free, but I don't know. All right, so I really don't want to drive 3 times. I could drive to Lone Butte, play for a little bit, drive back here, and then drive back to pretty much Lone Butte, where my Airbnb is at the end of the night. I drove a ton yesterday. I'm driving that same 5 hours back to Vegas tomorrow. I don't want to drive all day today. Already drove here once, so I think I'm just gonna find something to do here for like 2-3 hours. Wish I had a cigar, I don't. But the golf course is right back there. How difficult could it be to sneak on and just take a walk? I mean, there's like a fence and a wall right here, but there must be some way to get on. So I'm gonna go to my car, get my sunglasses, and if not there, probably just walk around the desert on the outskirts of the property. Hope a rattlesnake doesn't kill me. Also, just met Zach on the casino floor. Shout out to Zach. And while I'm doing shout outs, I don't remember if I gave a shout out to the guy on the monorail. Around this time last week, I was on the monorail. I just played at MGM and I was going to Sahara. The guy sitting next to me on the monorail had watched a few videos of the channel. And also Jake, who works at the Cage at Bellagio. I played Bellagio, I don't know, like 5 days ago or something. And I got my chips from Jake, and he had just been watching the channel before he went into work, he said. So shout outs to everybody. Think I'm current on the shout outs. So you'll see me when I'm either snuck onto the golf course or just walking around the desert. I have good news and bad news, and it's both the same. Found the golf course. It's right here. That's the good news. Bad news is I could just walk on. I wanted some kind of a fence to hop, but guess they're making it easy for me today. Let's see if this guy puts it on the green. I doubt it. Ah, it was better than I thought. Thought it was a lot shorter than that. As long as I'm talking about sneaking onto things, I don't know if I ever told anyone, I don't know if I ever told to the camera, the times I snuck onto a college football field. There were 3. The first one was impromptu. I was playing poker in WinStar for like 50 days in 2021. And one day I went to the football field because the Airbnb was in Denton. It's kind of far from Thackerville, Oklahoma, Denton, Texas, but it's like all interstate. You could go like 80, the limit's 80, you could go 85. You get there pretty quickly. But Denton is where the University of North Texas is, Mean Green. So I thought there might be like a spring practice and maybe I could watch it. That would be pretty cool. There was no one there. There was no one. I couldn't see anyone anywhere. I found the football field, didn't see anyone on the field, near the buildings, on the sidewalks, nothing. So it's like, all right, no one's around. I'll just hop the fence, get onto the field and walk around for a few minutes. So even though it was raining and that fence was pretty tall and I was wearing boots that didn't have great traction, hopped the fence, got onto the field, walked around, took some pictures, and then went to play poker. That got me thinking though, what if I did that for every like college football field there is? I actually thought about making a YouTube channel with just that. YouTube started cracking down on monetizing videos where you do something illegal, which this is like kind of illegal, I guess. So I never made videos of it, but that was spring 21. in January 22, on my way from New York to Vegas, I stopped at Memphis and Arkansas State. Are these supposed to be out of bounds steaks? Out of bounds needs to be white. These aren't white. These are just the natural color of the wood. I mean, there's the tee box. Back and to my left is the hole, but I mean, these really need to be white, otherwise I don't know what this is. You don't have a choice in what colors you make everything. White's out of bounds. Red and blue I always mix up. One's a lateral hazard, one is a different type of hazard, but I don't know. These really should be white. So, Arkansas State was the easiest. There really wasn't any sneaking. The gate to the stands was open. People were around. I just walked in and no one cared. But an hour earlier, when I was at Memphis, besides it being in the middle of a ghetto, that was the most difficult stadium to sneak into. Okay, first there's this perimeter before you even get anywhere near the stadium. There's this perimeter and there's a really tall chain link fence, which I could hop. The thing is, like, when you're on the outside, you're like here. Then there's this tall fence. And once you hop it and get on the other side, you come back down that fence, but then there's a ledge, and then there's like a 5 or 6 foot drop. Being on the outside on the ground is a lot taller than being on the inside on the ground. So, what's more important when you're doing something like this, what's more important than having a way to get in is having a way to get out. I didn't think if I hopped that fence, I would be able to get out. So I chose not to, kept walking around the perimeter, eventually found where they drive in all like the vans for all the TV equipment. So the ground on the outside and the inside was the same. The fence didn't quite go all the way to the ground. I crawled under it. You're still like 75 yards from the actual stadium. So it's just like a lot of time for like someone to see, and like security guards or someone to like get over there, but kept going. You get close to the stadium and like where you would hand someone your tickets, I guess, there's more fences. I had to hop another fence, and then I still wasn't really in. I was at this point where on the left, there was a tall chain link fence with barbed wire on top. And on the right was a concrete wall with wrought iron bar on top. So I climbed the chain link fence for as long as I could until I got to the barbed wire. Then I went sideways onto the ledge of where the concrete ended and the wrought iron bar started. And then I like walked sideways along that concrete edge until the wrought iron bar were low enough such that I could just like step over it. Then I was on the concourse. Then I could go into the seats. Then I could go onto the field. What was interesting, the picture I have is, it says Texas Tech in the end zone because Texas Tech had just played, they were just one of the 2 teams that played the bowl game on that field like a week or 2 earlier. So yeah, that was interesting. And then walk around for a little bit and get out of there quickly, because that was a lot of time for someone on some security camera to see you and make his way over. So those were the only 3. I planned on doing way more and even trying to film some of them, but never did. So there you have it. That's why I said the bad news was that there was no fence. I just got to walk onto the golf course. I like hopping fences. You see that moving? Right there? Is that a chipmunk? I don't know where this beehive is, but thanks for the warning. Love this color of whatever plant this is. This like burnt orange, pale orange. Golfers are coming though, I gotta get going. Didn't expect to see ducks nor a pond while I was out here. And remember, rice is a spoon food.